Talk with Shak, man. I've been chilling, boy. Where you been? Boy, I'm on my back. Well, I'm back on my back and on the back on the track, and I just been chilling, boy. I'm like that. Check it out. Today we got some stuff to talk about. We talking anxiety. We talking everything is out. We talking everything down south is fly. Everything that's going on is live, my guy. Elon Musk buying Twitter. Boy, that boy is a hitter. Didn't he just go to the moon this winter? And my boy 6ix9ine is back, and boy 6ix9ine just got them boys, and they got savages like that. And he just dropped some videos, and he been giving money away. And we're gonna talk about all of that on the show today. And we got two clowns of the day that's in our way, and we gotta push them out because we gotta talk about what they gotta say. Man, I'm chilling so hard. I'm just in the building. And it's the morning. I'm trying to wake up and feel it. Man, I'm about to go and kill it. Because now I'm about to go and talk about some stuff that's real. Man, listen. Tiger Talk with Shak, but we ain't slipping. And on the microphone, we be so fly. Shout out Anchor, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify. That was so cool. And I put it together, boy. I almost didn't make it. I almost didn't make it, boy. I couldn't. Ooh. Man, I almost dropped it, boy. Just get out of here. I mean, I'm on the microphone, boy. I be kicking my deer and not. Hey, yo, Tiger Talk with Shak, man. You already know what it is, man. Hey, listen, I'm back. Hey, Tiger Talk with Shak, man. Remember the K instead of the Q. Tiger Talk with Shak with a K. All right, .me, man. Make sure you highlight us, man, because we are setting waves in the industry and setting waves in the podcast community, man. So we are just trying to do what we do, man, and get our levels right. There we go. So we just trying to do what we're trying to do, man. And before we get out of here, man, hey, we trying to find us on the meta, man. It's Coach Shak Bryant, man. You already know. And also, if you're trying to get on the website, man, it's Tiger Talk with Shak. with K.me, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get off. But before we do, man, you already know what it is, man. It's the fastest way. It's the fastest way to the click. Man, you already know who we riding with, man. Hey, it's the Aces. What's happening? Dog, I absolutely love my Aces. You already know, man. Y'all ride, y'all tune in, y'all click in, man. I appreciate you guys. Hey, listen, man, we got some stuff on the agenda, man, to talk about, man. Starting out, let's go ahead and start with the motivational portion, man. We're gonna go right into anxiety, man. We've heard a lot of stuff from anxiety, just from the sports component. These athletes are dealing with high levels of anxiety. You're talking about, a baseball player that in some cases, you have to hit 100-mile-an-hour fastball. A kid threw 101 the other day. You have to hit 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and you have to actually get on base 1 out of every 3 times to be effective. Now, if that's not pressure in general, that's some pressure. Then you got to worry about if you're going to get a slider or a curveball that's going to drop, from 12 to 6. Like if you're thinking about a clock, you know what I'm saying, from 12 to 6, but it's going to drop about, a whole 1.5 feet. Then that guy can come back and throw one that look like that same pitch that goes straight, man. There's so much stuff that these guys have to deal with, man. And, we take our hats off to all of that stuff, but then you got to think about it. Look, what is the major component? After all of that, that guy has to go home and he has to deal with that same stuff, for the whole night. And then get up and do the same thing again, same thing again, same thing again. There's a rhythm and a pattern, right? But, what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's high level anxiety for the baseball player. What about the other athlete that has to get a big time contract because, his wife wants to move or they want to do other things with their life? This person's putting his body on the line and having to sacrifice, hanging out and relaxing for training and going hard, which that is the profession. But, these guys, like imagine all of this stuff, man. So we have to realize, man, like, when it comes to anxiety, man, it is tough for these athletes, man. It's tough for these families, it's tough for these kids, it affects everybody. And so we're going to dive into it. We're going to talk a little bit, man. We're going to see if we can get into it right. How do you deal with anxiety? First off, what is anxiety? Anxiety is overthinking, over analyzing, nervous feelings, tension, tightness, shortness of breath, shaking, things of that nature, all coming from an unsafe environment, not feeling well, thinking something's gonna get you, somebody's gonna manipulate something against you, something like that. You can bend it a lot of ways, respect to, the actual illness. I'm not trying to play it down. But we have to first know what it is. So that now that we know what it is, now we're going to talk about, well, okay, well, why is it happening? That's what we got to recognize. Why is it happening? Why is it when I get in big crowds? Is it when I get in public? Is it when somebody calls on me to speak? Is it when um I get around certain people? Is it when I get around my friends? Is it when I get around peers? Is it when I'm around people and I don't feel certain of myself? And I don't really know how, to communicate things, or I don't know if I'm an effective leader, or what I'm saying. It can simulate from a lot of different things. But the thing is this is that most of all, it is a lack of trust. Now, what do you not trusting? Well, it could be something from your past. It could be something that you dealt with before. It could be something that you're about to deal with. But the thing is this, that the reason why I'm lack of trusting is I myself don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I'm comfortable around, certain individuals, certain arenas, certain heights, certain scenarios, certain parties, functions, anything, one-on-ones, public communication. While we're there, do you guys know the number one? I always hit you with these things spur of the moment, man. But do you guys know the number one cause, or the number one fear? Number one fear. The crazy part is the number one fear over everything. You would think it would be death, wouldn't you? But it's not death. The number one fear in the world is public speaking. Public speaking. It is the number one fear in the world. People are scared to get up in front of people. People are scared to talk. People are scared to interact. People are, what I'm saying? People are scared, man. They'll rather die than to get up in front of their peers to produce something. So why is that? That's anxiety. Anxiety. But where does it come from? It comes from something that happened in the past. It's a personal thing that happened to you in the past that you can't let go for the future. If you were somewhere where people did you dirty and you found out they were talking behind your back the whole time you were being friends with them, now when you move to your next relationship, unless you fix that in your mind and just realize that those were bad people and that everybody don't operate like that, you're going to carry that on. So now when you have a team of people who's fresh and genuine and they're just ready to love you and ready to care about you, you're not going to be able to receive that, because you're just going to remember the last time that the evil, malicious people that you were trying to love that did not love you back, that joke talk behind your back, stuff like that. You're going to think that's how everybody is, which means that when you get to other places where those people want to love you and care about you, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you're doing, whether you're doing a camp, whether you're doing a job, whether you're doing in class, or whatever the case may be, now that you get with a new group of people, now you're gonna act like they're gonna backstab you, laugh, joke, talk about you, whatever the case may be. So now you're gonna brace yourself, which means you're not gonna be open. You're not gonna be the same person that you were in the beginning, which means that you're limiting who you are. You're not 100% you. You more like the 50% you. And the thing is that they're not gonna get everything that you bring, because you're not gonna be able to bring it, because you're gonna be apprehensive, because you're thinking people gonna start to try to backstab you just like before. Fired! Shots fired! And I think that is, pretty good that we acknowledge that, because that is the same thing that goes on with relationships. You know, in relationships, we bring baggage. Think about it. Your first relationship is happy. It's on the playground, man. 5 years old, man. Get married on the playground. What's happening? So look, anyway, your first relationship, whether it's like 11, like, my kids are getting of dating age, and it's fun to have conversations with them. But you're getting to the age where you start dating, right? So what happens in this relationship, right? We think it's gonna last forever. Everybody thinks it's gonna last forever. The chances are that that does not happen. So when we get hurt in that relationship, well, what happened? Well, the person cheated. I found out the person cheated. Okay, so now I'm with this next relationship. Okay, it's going good, it's going great. But I'm thinking about the last person that cheated on me when it was going good and going great. So now I'm starting to bring down my relationship. So now that's starting to cause me anxiety. When I started thinking about that stuff and what happened from before, it starts to generate in my head over and over and over again, and that begins to create a new wave of anxiety. So now I'm in this relationship, and I remember the last relationship I was in that was perfect. This is perfect too. Last time the person cheated. Okay, well now, boom, now you're waiting for that person to cheat. So now when you didn't even think like that, you weren't even that type of person. You were just a fun-loving, 100% person. Now you were starting to check phones. You're starting to think about things because why? Because it happened to us in the past. So what do? We bring that to that new person. We start figuring these things in our head. Then we start to spin things off for other things. And then we don't even want to talk about the real reason or the real root, you know what I'm saying, why this stuff is coming out, you know what I'm saying? But, we're just going to look at it from this angle, the service angle. Because a lot of times what people think is something, it's something else. You know what I'm saying? So now, okay, so now the person does cheat after you've already gone through cell phone stuff like that. So now every time you meet a new person, you're knowing in the back of your head when it gets great, they're going to cheat. That's what you're knowing. Is it truthful? No. Why? you know, and it's not fair to the other person. And so a lot of times we have to heal ourselves, and that's why they have counselors, and these people specialize in these things. And sometimes they're not cookie cutter models. I don't want to go to a cookie cutter counselor. If a counselor's looking at my situation, writing on the tab and then looking at something and comparing it, and oh, it's this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no cookie cutter model. Like I want somebody to, okay, I feel what you're saying. Yeah, okay. I recognize this in my patients. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, because I've been doing it for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case and they have proven track record of helping people, you know what I'm saying? And you're talking about somebody that's been in business for a minute. Yeah, I would rather go to that person. You know what I'm saying? Get you some help. Everybody needs a counselor, man. That's the thing. People don't realize that every single one of us need a counselor, man. It is not foreign. It's not foreign territory. It's actually good.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Because when you realize, man, in the computers, right? Computers, we have brains. Brains are like our computers, right? So look, what happens? Well, we run our computers, do all these functional things on our computers. Then what happens to our computers in real life? After we've been on it for like, a week and doing a lot of stuff and data reports and stuff like that, all this stuff, bringing all this stuff up. What happens? Those applications start to crash because there's too much data information. We have to reload. And it's the same thing with our brains. You know what I mean? Just think about that. But going back to that, man, that brings paranoia. We got to fix that stuff, man, because onsets, man, is not really good because we just keep taking it from one place to another, to another, to another. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that. Um, how do we tell friends, family members, our job? How do we tell people that we need help? And there's all type of places. The best thing to do is get help through your medical professional. You know, they have all type of people that help you with this stuff. You know, um, you can talk to your primary care physician. You can talk to somebody that can help you, medical professionals. That stuff is sealed HIPAA laws. So you can talk to these people and try to get some help if you want help. Your friends, your family, they're waiting to help you. Hopefully, if not, then we need to reach out to support groups and things like that. All of this stuff is helpful. Looking this stuff up. Also, stop worrying about you so much. I think a lot of times we have so much anxiety because we feel like we're so important. Okay. Do I know people know me? Yes. Am I well known? Yes. Am I popular? Yes. Am I gonna holler at Elon Musk and tell him, man, that I ain't even using my Twitter with my 18 million followers because my people, my friends can't even see my information? So you showing my show stuff to a new group of people because a lot of the people that I've talked to on a regular, I have not talked to in a minute because I took a break from Twitter. So now that I'm back, my people aren't seeing any of my stuff, which means that my posts are limited to get action. You're talking about a person from 18K that could use all the action I could get to get stuff out. You know what I'm saying? I need help with that. So Elon Musk, please help me so I can go use my 18K, because I used to be a big time thing back then. And then I started coaching and forgot about Twitter. Came back and dang, I'm flat in the mug. So I'm looking for stuff like that straight up. Elon Musk. That's what I just said. The owner of Tesla. You know Tesla, man. Tesla, if you don't know, is the car that drives itself. All right. Now they moved their corporation to Texas, and they're going to start charging people to go to the moon with Mr. Elon Musk's other company. Also, like I just said, he bought Twitter. Well, how much did Twitter cost? How much did Twitter cost? Now, people will put in, different bets and have suggestions of how much they cost. You have no clue. You would never guess this ever, because it shook the heck out of me. I would never think that Twitter would go for that price. It's an app. Yes, you can do a lot of things with it, but it has faded. When you talk about popular social media apps, even Snapchat is fading. Twitter is fading. The guru to the giant is Instagram. Facebook has moved up. Facebook is probably number 2, to be honest with you. No, scratch. Is Snapchat. And Facebook is probably 3. It's crazy how that changed, because nobody used to use Facebook. Everybody used to have Facebook. Now kids are using Facebook. It's crazy. You know what I mean? But TikTok and stuff like that has nothing to do with social media. It's more so like a video watching app type deal. But yeah, that's nuts. So anyway, so Twitter winds up going for a whopping for for, for a whopping $44 billion.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Man. $44 billion. Twitter, congratulations. My boy is back. You ask who my boy is? My boy's back. My boy's back. That's all I'm saying. My boy Rainbow, he back. That's all I'm saying. Who is Rainbow, you might ask? Man, Rainbow is a dude that is from New York, man. He's a really good dude. He liked controversy when he first came out, man. Rainbow is not Rainbow for the name that he has. Rainbow is for the color of his hair. I'm describing this dude went away. He was we'll get into it in a minute. But anyway, 6ix9ine is back in the building. 6ix9ine. That's what's up, man. He is back. And we appreciate him, man, coming back, because I like 6ix9ine, man. But let me tell you a little bit of background about 6ix9ine, okay? You got a young dude, I think his name's Danny. And he is I don't know anybody that has links to him or around the same circles, nothing like that. But he actually is from New York. He was a risky dude. Basically, what Danny did was he was trying to make his music known. And so he would do rational or irrational stuff to make his stuff known. Like he'll put, N-word on the back of his clothes or whatever, and people would think that he was all Puerto Rican. I think he is Puerto Rican and black or something like that, but you can't really tell, something like that. So people be mad when they saw it, so that would bring controversy. But then now he's tagging his social media and stuff like that, and he was just getting growing and stuff like that. And so he was coming on the scene with controversy. Well, he wanted to go to the next level, and he was known as a troll. What that was he would get on the internet, he would say all type of stuff, he would still be producing these risky videos. Well, basically, when he got on, to be pretty big, rappers and entertainers would entertain him and say, you won't go here and say this, or you won't go to this popular block. And in rap music, the tougher the neighborhood, what you can do as far as, getting around things or hanging out in certain areas or getting hood cred, stuff like that, which people say now. Nobody says hood cred, right? But the people that are analyzing it, I'm not talking about that, but what I'm saying is people say, you know what I'm saying, you got stripes in the hood, you a G, baby OG, low, whatever. You like that, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. These are the terms that we use today. But Takashi, he wind up climbing up the charts, whatever the case may be. So he wanted to get more pubs. So he was doing all this stuff with these rappers, saying he'd go to these hoods or whatever. Well, you're not going to these hoods by yourself, of course. So he would solicit these gangs or whatever the case may be. Treyway was a popular gang back in the day. Most of them have been indicted. But anyway, so he was using them for protection. He was paying for them. But then all of a sudden they wind up extorting him. They wind up telling him they needed more money. They wind up robbing him. They wind up with heat rumors to say that some of the members in the gang were hanging out with his girlfriend, so to speak. And so Takashi was like, bump this. So whatever. So they wind up kidnapping him. So they wind up all going to court together in a racketeering ring. And then he told on them and what they used to do within the gang, because of course he said that, being that they did that with his girlfriend, and they were soliciting and extorting money from him, or just asking for money, and taking money and then kidnapping him. He was like, man, he would rather just tell on them and do whatever. Well, here's where it changes, guys. Okay, where it changes is in the communities where gangs are, snitching is not tolerated, which means that if you know Johnny and Johnny comes through your back door and he grabs your TV and goes to his house with TV, then if you know Johnny, if you live in a neighborhood in an inner city or a rough neighborhood, they didn't like police in there because they didn't trust police, because they felt like police would do weird stuff to them and basically hurt their community and infringe on their culture. Well, that's exactly where the way it plays out. So whoever comes to your back door and takes something, well, now you feel obligated to, hey, I need to beat them up. I need to do something to them to let them know that they can't do this because the police aren't coming around here, because we're not talking to the police. And so that's the whole culture of rap. You know, culture of rap is no snitching. We don't talk. We ain't seen nothing. If somebody kills your baby, or some, God forbid, but if somebody kills your baby, your husband, your loved one, your spouse, whatever, if they were right next to you when you saw who did it, when the police come up in the hood, in the inner cities, they were like, I don't know who did it. Even the person that just was right there, the person that belongs to the person that died, I don't know what happened. And then they would go get their gun and handle their business. And that's how it was. You know what I'm saying? So when Takashi hit the stage, man, he changed the game. He was like, I'm not really trying to hear all that, man. Listen, but whatever, these dudes are bad. I'm changing the game, whatever. So he snitched on everybody. Why is this important? Takashi wasn't just a rapper, man. Takashi was a social media star. He was making money off social media. He was doing all of this stuff, like his video Gummo. Like it's millions and millions of plays on YouTube, which that generates money for him. Also, record labels, stuff like that, generate money for him. So he gets out of jail. He's like, man, listen, man, I don't have no money. But what he didn't tell the judge, or what somebody didn't point out, is you can make so much money off of YouTube. He can be broke technically today, like when he goes to court. And that's probably what happened. When he goes to court, he can literally have no money, because that's how it works on there. No money. And then when he gets out of court that day, he can literally have like $1 million just off of spins on YouTube. He got $1 million off of plays. So he got $2 million that day where he didn't have any money in his bank account. You know what I'm saying? When he went to court. So he just went to court. He came out, and also he released 2 videos the other day. Well, actually he did 2 videos, and he released one like 2 days ago. And he's already generated like so many hits, millions and millions upon hits. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna generate money for him still. And basically, he's giving out $70K last week. He gave out $20,000 to a lady on the side of the road selling flowers, and then he gave $1 million, which is the equivalent to $50,000 in American money. He gave over in another country, and then so that makes $70,000 that this man is giving away in the last 2 days, man. And so if you talk about snitching, when's the last time you heard rappers give out money like that? So my point is listen, I'm not in the street. I'm not in the hood. I'm not in none of that. I chill. I'm a family man. I go to work. I do stuff like that. So guess what? Him snitching doesn't bother me. If I was a drug kingpin or if I was living by those rules, they would bother me. Well, as a person who really was not like that, he just paid gang members and hung around them. Can you blame him for what he did? He's a civilian. And yes, he's running around doing all the stuff that the gang members are doing because he's in the background, kind of like the little brother that's just hanging back there, hanging with the big homies, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is this is that he's not doing none of the work. He's not doing none of the action. He's not doing none of the dirty stuff. He's just paying y'all goofballs to do that. So technically he's winning because this dude is back on the scene and he has all type of money. Man, it's Takashi 69, man. He has money on money. If worst case scenario, he could file bankruptcy and then split off with money, pay the bankruptcy off, and then have super money from all of the stuff that he's doing with the algorithm and stuff like that. YouTube, facility marketing, affiliate marketing, just all type of stuff you can do, product promotion, appearances, shows. They will still, if Sakai 69 agreed to a show, they would still give him 100K for a show, period. Right now. So how will he ever be broke? He could show up one day and get 100K. He could get 100K off YouTube that day. That's 200K. I think he'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll be okay. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Man, shout out to him, man. He's doing some stuff, man. He's coming back. He's about to make some big money. I'm actually pulling for the kid, man, because nobody ever goes against that. Back in the day when you used to snitch, you used to die. Rich and Porter, that whole thing, man. Like, snitching was serious, man. When people in the mob and stuff like that back in the day, man, hey, Tony. What'd you tell him? What do you mean, Godfather? What'd you tell him? Say hello to my little friend. That was terrible. Man. Guess what time it is?
I'm a clown. I'm a clown. I'm a clown.
Oh man, when you talk about clowns on this show, you were talking about a person that is just off the chain. Somebody in the real world right now might say they tripping. Man, you are wow. Why are you like that? Anyway, Clearfield, Utah, a man is being brought up on charges, and we're trying to figure out why. Well, this is why he is getting serious with his girlfriend. Him and his girlfriend are not in the same state, man. They are feeling each other. And basically what's happening is they are going into the courtship where they're moving fast. They're getting engaged, they're buying houses, they're doing all the stuff like that. They're about to come to that part. Well, before you get there, you have to at least be in the same state, right? Because she says, baby, I really want to come and be with you because that sounds weird. All right, so look, so she's like, hey, look, I am coming to stay with you. And he's like, wait, babe, you are? Yeah. Oh my God, that is awesome. And then less than a week later, this man gets gasoline matches and burns his own house down so she don't have to come live with him. Bro, that joke is wild, though, man. Like, that is mad funny to me. Like, that is nuts. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Oh my. Man, I'm not burning down nothing. I put money in. That man just threw like $80,000 in a day, dream, bro. That's crazy. And so when you